Today, we are going to embark on an exciting adventure through time, all the way back to the wonderful days of the Roman Empire. Have you ever been curious about how people in ancient Rome established their right to citizenship? You certainly are in for a pleasant surprise. In this video, we will peel back the layers of history in order to unveil the secrets that lie underneath what it means to be an authentic Roman citizen. Get ready to learn about the fascinating processes and artifacts, ranging from wax seals to tablets with engravings, that were used by these ancient Romans to forge their identities. Now is the time to put on your toga and fasten your seatbelt because we are going to delve deeply into the question, how did people prove citizenship in ancient Rome? Let's get this party started. Let's start by figuring out why being a Roman citizen was such a huge matter before we get into the different ways that citizenship might be demonstrated. Within the vast borders of the Roman Empire, having Roman citizenship was the key to opening the door to a myriad of benefits and safeguards. Citizens were granted access to public services, legal protections, and opportunities to take part in the political process. How exactly does one demonstrate that they were a member of this exclusive club? Birthright citizenship was considered to be one of the simplest pathways to acquiring Roman citizenship in ancient Rome. Congratulations are in order if you were born to parents who were Roman citizens. You immediately qualified for citizenship in the Roman Republic. It was similar to coming into possession of a membership to a prestigious organization by inheritance. Imagine for a moment that you were not part of this exclusive group by birth. What steps would you need to take to become a Roman citizen? The Roman census and the document known as the tabula censoria come into play here. Every 5 years, a huge population count known as the census was carried out, during which citizens were required to register. This process of registration was necessary since it was used to identify not only your status as a citizen, but also whether or not you were eligible for particular benefits. This information was written down on the tabula censoria, often known as the census tablet. But how did they make sure that these records were really accurate? This is when things start to get interesting. Each citizen was given a tessera, which was a miniature piece of earthenware or metal bearing their name and other identifying information. They would employ a wax seal known as a signaculum to imprint their tessera onto official documents in order to provide proof that they were who they claimed to be. The wax mark of approval was one of the most well-known and interesting ways that ancient Roman people could demonstrate their citizenship. Let's learn more about it now. This approach was not only a demonstration of an individual's identification, but it was also a sign of the massive bureaucracy and precise record-keeping that characterized the Roman Empire. Imagine for a moment that you were a Roman citizen and that you were required to provide proof of your identification for a variety of transactions or legal problems. You would have been equipped with a unique piece that was referred to as a tessera. This tessera was a miniature piece of earthenware or metal, typically in the shape of a rectangle, that bore your name and various other important inscriptions. It served as both your personal identification and a physical representation of your Roman citizenship. At this point, the wax seal becomes relevant to the situation. You can verify the facts on your tessera or any other official document by using a wax seal that is known as signaculum. The signaculum served as more than simply an additional layer of protection. It was also a symbol of power and confidence. The procedure was sophisticated in spite of its complexity. To begin, a small amount of wax, which is typically colored, would be melted on the document or the tessera. After that, a one-of-a-kind seal, frequently depicting the crest of an individual, a family, or a political body, would be pressed into the liquid wax. This seal made a unique impression in the wax, which served as a seal of approval and a literal seal of authenticity. These seals came in all different shapes and sizes, and each one had its own unique meaning. One example is the use of a specialized seal by a family to denote their citizenship and place in the family's history. It was common practice for members of the government and influential individuals to have their own seals. It was a method for ensuring that the document or tessera in question was authentic and had not been tampered with in any manner. However, the usage of wax seals was not limited to simply authenticating documents. It was a question of who could be trusted and who was accountable. These seals were used to ensure that agreements, contracts, and other legal papers were legally enforceable and safe in a society that placed a high premium on paperwork and administration. Imagine it as a predecessor to the signatures we use now or the electronic signatures we use today. In addition, the act of affixing a seal to a document was a significant one. It was laden with the authority of custom and precedent. It was a physical demonstration of one's identity and status as a Roman citizen, and it was required for citizenship. It was a sign that conveyed the message that I am who I claim to be, and my word is my bond. Additionally, wax seals were an essential component in the communication process. The sender's signaculum was used to affix a seal to letters and other communications, which were typically written on scrolls or tablets. This not only kept prying eyes from seeing what was inside the message, but it also validated the sender's claim that their words were genuine. It was a practice that revealed a lot about the level of sophistication and organization that existed inside the Roman Empire. As one strolled through the crowded streets of ancient Rome, one could easily see the myriad of business dealings, court proceedings, and correspondences that were sealed with wax. These minuscule wax seals were the most important factor in determining a person's identification, as well as in business and government. Within a vast empire, they served as the watchdogs of public confidence. These wax seals offer a fascinating glimpse into the past which can be seen today. Numerous ancient seals, each with its own individual history, have been uncovered by historians and archaeologists over the course of time. They bear the marks of lives that were lived at the center of one of the most powerful and influential civilizations in the annals of human history. Serving one's country in the armed forces was another way to gain Roman citizenship. If you enlist in the Roman legions, serve honorably, and meet certain requirements, the Roman government may grant you citizenship as a reward for your diligence and valor. This strategy not only strengthened the Roman armed forces, but also increased the number of Roman citizens. Now that we have that out of the way, let's discuss the significance of marriage in establishing citizenship. Through a process known as connubium, a person from a foreign country who married a Roman citizen had the opportunity to potentially acquire Roman citizenship. However, this didn't happen overnight. There were specific circumstances that needed to be met, as well as procedures that needed to be followed. Although love endures through the ages, the bureaucracy of ancient Rome was most certainly not. The concept of patronage played an important part in the citizenship process in ancient Rome. Sponsorship for those applying for citizenship can be provided by a patron, who is typically an influential citizen who is also affluent. They would provide the applicant with a letter of recommendation and help them navigate the convoluted legal process. Imagine that you have a friend with a lot of connections who can help you get your application processed more quickly. There were many different paths to citizenship, and not all of them were easy or available to everyone. Certain people were granted Roman citizenship in recognition of their remarkable achievements, such as making significant contributions to Roman civilization. This was an extremely prestigious prize, and it served to highlight the value that Rome placed on both talent and fidelity. In addition to the administrative procedures, there are also physical artifacts that serve as evidence of Roman citizenship. The names of benefactors, donors, and important residents were frequently incorporated in the inscriptions that were placed on monuments and public buildings. These inscriptions were intended to be a permanent record of an individual's standing within the Roman community. Along with the growth and evolution of the Roman Empire over time, the definition of citizenship also underwent significant change. The rights and privileges that had traditionally come along with citizenship started going through a period of transition. By the time the empire was in its latter years, the once prized citizenship had morphed into a status that was less exclusive. This deterioration was ultimately one of the contributing factors that led to the collapse and demise of the Roman Empire. In conclusion, the procedures for establishing citizenship in ancient Rome were nearly as numerous and varied as the empire itself. The process to becoming a bona fide Roman citizen was anything from straightforward. It involved everything from birthright to military service, and even the influence of patrons and special merit. The artifacts and papers that were left behind tell the remarkable story of a civilization that placed the utmost importance on citizenship, and these practices continue to captivate our imaginations to this very day. And with that, a brief yet fascinating introduction to the realm of Roman citizenship. We sincerely hope that this trip into the past was enjoyable for you and that you came away with a deeper understanding of the complexities of life in ancient Rome. If you found this video to be as captivating as we did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any other fascinating historical adventures. Keep your inquisitive spirit alive and continue to delve deeper into the complex web of our common human past until we meet again. Thank you so much for coming, all you lovers of history. We'll catch up with you in the future video.